EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martins here with your outlook for August 28th, 2019. For your Wednesday, we're going to have a cold front moving through the region today, and that's going to bring a few showers and some scattered thunderstorms in a few areas. Not an all-day washout in the entire region, and there's some areas that will not see much of anything at all, but we'll get into that here when we get to the NAM high-res future simulated radar. So your cold front is actually situated back here. Here's your cold front right here moving through. This actually overnight is going to move through, and most of the activity is going to be during the afternoon and early evening hours across our region ahead of this boundary. This right here was Tropical Depression number 6. It has now been named Tropical Storm Aaron, and this is not really anything that's going to affect our weather directly. It's going to rapidly head off to the north and east and accelerate doing so, and it should just be a maritime interest or perhaps affecting places like up here by Nova Scotia. So no direct impacts to our shore points, but there will be rip currents as a result of Aaron being close by right along the shore points. So do watch for that if you're near the shore points today. We will talk about Dorian, who is which is the main topic of conversation later in this video. I want to get through our local forecast here first. And so the scattered shower and thunderstorm activity will come through this afternoon and evening. We'll wrap up this evening and pull away. And then we are back to mostly sunny skies here on Thursday, and temperatures that are going to be kind of maintaining where they are over the next couple of days. So kind of 80-ish, 82-ish for the next couple of days. It looks like for highs on both Wednesday and Thursday. Don't expect to see much sun today. And here's the NAM high-res future simulated radar. Then I'm going to start this off at 11 a.m. So it's 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So we have a line or a semi-congealed line out here in central Pennsylvania. This is most likely just showers or with embedded thunder. This is not a severe weather line that we're dealing with today. As we move forward through time, here's noon, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. You see some scattered showers moving ahead of this line that are going to pop. Again, just showers moving ahead of this line. This has been trending weaker in the last several consecutive runs of the NAM. So the trend has been for less instead of more. But this is just to give you a general idea of what's going to happen, not to give you a verbatim look. When you're looking at the NAM 3 kilometer, you're just trying to get a general idea. You're not trying to look at it for an exact depiction. Sometimes it can get exactly right of what it's going to do. Other times it's going to be a little underdone or overdone. I think in this case it might be a little bit underdone. Here's the main line back here in our western portions of our coverage area, and then some scattered showers firing further east. This is just the general idea of what's going to happen. So this is 4 p.m. Here's 5, here's 6, here's 7, here is 8, and there's really not too much left at this point before this finally pulls away. So we'll leave the isolated shower storm forecast in the early evening hours, and then we'll have improving conditions after that point across our entire coverage area. But for some areas, you might not see too much at all out of this today. It might just be a few showers and or a passing or isolated thunderstorm when this front moves through. So that's today. As we go forward from that, again, today, Thursday is a mostly sunny day. So is Friday. Friday is going to be the warmest day of the week with temperatures that are going to be generally in the middle 80s, give or take, a little less further north, a little more further south, maybe getting the upper 80s near Philadelphia. And we are mostly sunny. You can see, look up to our north here, though. You can see a weak front right here. You see the little dark grays here, or the lighter gray color here. That is actually a cold front that will come through in the overnight hours. Won't have too much impact other than the lower temperatures from like maybe mid-80s to 80, 82-ish for Saturday. But Saturday's going to be another partly cloudy day. This comes through overnight with little fanfare. And then Saturday is a partly cloudy day. We will have a frontal boundary that's going to move toward our region on Sunday. I do think most of the day is going to be dry. Late in the day, you could have an isolated shower or storm, and that threat could go into the overnight and then may linger a little bit on Monday as well. Okay, so we're going to watch for that. That's Labor Day, of course. So we'll watch for that. That is a change from the previous forecast. It looked like it was just going to be a quick in and out type thing. This might linger a little bit and might ruin the Monday portion of the holiday. So, but it does look like that the period for the start of the holiday weekend for Friday, Saturday are definitely dry. Sunday is mostly dry, and it might end up being entirely dry. We'll narrow that down as we get a little bit closer. But it does look like Monday is going to be the rainier of the 2 days, if you will. Not necessarily a total washout, but we'll cover that as we get further along in the week. Now, this is Tropical Storm Dorian. This is down in the Eastern Caribbean. This is Puerto Rico. Dorian's right here. Low-level circulation is actually sitting right here where this little flare-up is, right at the last frame of this loop, right about there. And it's moving. It actually jumped north today. It was what is across St. Lucia. Very mountainous regions on those islands, and they disrupted the circulation enough that it jumped the low center to the north quite a bit, which has, in a sense, changed the trajectory and the track of this system. So instead of having this system, low center is right about here, instead of the system going like this and coming over Hispaniola, or Dominican Republic, which is very high mountainous regions that would completely destroy it, instead, this system is going to, since the low center was displaced to the north, is not going to come over Puerto Rico like this and miss the island of Hispaniola and head up in this direction. Or at least that's the thinking right now on the latest trends. So we'll continue to watch this down here in the Caribbean because it does have effects for the southeastern United States. And the latest guidance for that is still showing this attack here. Here is Dorian. It is a little weaker today, 50-mile-per-hour winds. By the way, Aaron, which is up here just newly named as 40 miles per hour, a tropical storm would start at 39 miles per hour. So it's a very minimal tropical storm that, of course, doesn't have effects on the East Coast other than rip currents. But Dorian is 50 miles per hour, the latest advisory. And the idea is here is it goes over near Puerto Rico and then kind of comes east of the Bahamas later in the week, and then eventually takes aim on Florida or somewhere along the southeastern U.S. coastline from anywhere from Savannah all the way up to the Carolinas. Most likely, solution is going to be Florida's east coast, and this particular model did in fact take it up to that east coast of Florida here. Here's Dorian. And it moves it, actually intensifies it as it brings it toward the coastline. It makes landfall here somewhere along the Space Coast between, Daytona Beach and Cape Canaveral, somewhere in that region, north of Fort Lauderdale, north of West Palm Beach, north of Jupiter, Florida. So it's somewhere between there, okay? And that's where it's trying to break landfall. There are some models that are trying to bring this up a little bit further to the north, somewhere like this, toward the Carolinas. That is possible, but it's going to depend on this ridge here. There's a ridge in place that's building here, and that is right here. You can put a big H right here. There's a big ridge here. Here's Dorian right here, and this is looking at Thursday. There's also an upper level low sitting here that's going to be getting out of the way. This is this big upper level low. It's going to be moving westward and out of the way. It's going to give enough breathing room for Dorian to come up here in this void created by the upper level low disappearing. But this high pressure is going to be key here to where it eventually tracks. It's going to be its steering flow. Clockwise flow around the high pressure is going to be like this. So the general idea is going to steer it toward the southeastern U.S. coastline, and how strong this ridge is going to determine exactly where it hits along the coastline. That's pretty much the only driving force here. And you can see this particular one. This is actually the European. And see the upper level lows gets out of the way. Dorian gets a little bit stronger. See this ridge building and expanding. And that's going to send, that's what sends Dorian to the west-northwest right into the Florida coastline. So that's the idea here. But if this is any weaker or further displaced to the northeast, it could certainly change and bring things up more towards the Carolinas. That is not the most probable forecast right now. So these you have friends on the eastern coast of Florida, make sure they're heeding all the advisories issued by the National Hurricane Center. Right now they have it just as a tropical storm. Upon landfall, I'm a little skeptical of that. I think because it's missing the island of Hispaniola, it has a very good potential to be at least a Category 1 hurricane on landfall. So, keep close to those. Keep your friends and family in mind, and, anybody that lives down in this region, or if you're taking a trip down here, make sure you pay attention to the National Hurricane Center. And, of course, these videos, which we'll update every single day, will have the information on that as well. But right now, we're still kind of wait-and-see mode. See what it does when it gets past these islands here. See how this ridge builds. And we'll be able to tell in a couple days here where it's going. Right now, this is still a Sunday landfall. So we still got several days to look at this and determine where the track's going to be. But Florida, east coast of Florida, somewhere along the east coast, is the most probable landfall for that right now. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for August 28th, 2019. Have a great Wednesday.